All right. I'm going to show you how to do scenarios in Microsoft Excel, which are pretty advanced. So I'm going to click on a blank worksheet at the bottom. I'll make the zoom a little bit bigger. And we're forecasting for next year. So I'm making this up. And we're going to have the number of units, the price, and the costs. And I also want to know then the revenue, expenses, profit, and then profit percentage. Good enough. So the number of units that I'm estimating for next year are going to be 2,000. The price is 20, and the cost is $8. So therefore, our revenue, this you already know, is simply 40,000. Our expenses, so therefore our profit is going to be 24, and the profit percentage is 60%. And I would normally worry about formatting these, but for right now I'm not. And just so you know this, those three numbers right there that I typed in, those are called input cells. These four, because they have a formula, those are called dependent cells. And if you recall, the keyboard trick we learned during our training was Control and the grave accent symbol to see them. So it's not required that you do this, but I highly recommend you do. I'm going to highlight everything I typed, including the text. I'm going to click on the word formulas at the top. And in the name group, define names, I'm going to create from selection. So it looked at my data that I had selected, and it's basically saying you have text in the left column. So I'm going to click OK. Click one time anywhere. And now in my name box, up in the top left corner, there's price, revenue. So you don't actually have to do that step, but I highly recommend it. So here we go. This is our initial forecast. I'm going to select these three, go to the data tab at the top. And by the way, I'm going to record this, so it will be available later. And under what if analysis, scenario manager. We pull this to the middle of the screen. Add. I'm going to name this first scenario original. It's your changing is going to be your input cells always. Click OK. Because I named them, I have units, price, and cost. So this is my original forecast. So I'm going to hit add. And I'm going to make up somebody says we can have a higher price next year. Click OK. And the price instead of 20 is going to be 22. Add another one. More units, but lower price. So instead of 2,000 units, we believe we can do 2250 if we put the price at 1775. And I'm going to add one more, lower cost and lower price. We believe we can get the cost down, so we're going to put the price a little bit less. Let's make it 18 bucks, and the cost goes down to 725. Click OK, and I can put in as many scenarios as I want to. And here's what's nice. Right now I'm on original. I'm going to double click higher price, and the numbers change. More units. So you can put as many as you want to in here, and then after you put them all in here, you can show them all at one time, and that is a summary. When you initially do this, you select the three input cells to create the scenario. But to do the summary, you highlight all the dependent cells, or all the cells that have a formula. And notice at the bottom, I'm on sheet 4, and there's sheet 3. When I click OK, there I go. You can always delete column D when you do this because it says current value. So I'm gonna right click and delete it. And there I go, there's my original higher price. Once again, column C, that's why I name my range before I do this, or else it would say B1, B2, B3, B5, on and on. So there's how you do the scenario manager in Microsoft Excel. Let me jump now to Word for a second. So I'm gonna stop sharing here. I'm back. Let me share Microsoft Word, because I told you I would show you how to create a report correctly. So let me share my Word document with you. And I'm gonna pull it in a little bit. I think it's just easier to see. So you should see a Microsoft Word document running. This, once again, this is not required that you do this first step, but I recommend that you do this in Microsoft Word, and it's a one-timer. You'll never have to do it again. If you notice in the bottom left corner, it says page 1 of 1. You right-click the word page, and left-click section, it'll always show your sections to you, and that's major. Then click back in your document. Whenever you start Word, you always have one section. You've got to have a section. So there's section 1. The reason that section is important before I actually show you this report is if I want page 1 to be portrait, I'm on page 101 and it's portrait. Page 2 is going to have a really long table, and so I need it to go landscape. You click the word layout at the top. Once again, notice I only have one section. You go to breaks, and you do a section break, next page. Now I'm on section 2, page 2. I simply go to orientation, landscape. And that is how you break up a document between portrait and landscape, by putting in section breaks. Now, just so you know this, it doesn't matter that you can't see the text. If I need page 3 to also be landscape, that is on the keyboard, Control Enter. That is how you do a page break. And notice I'm on page 3 in the bottom left, but I'm still in section 2. So that's why section breaks are important to see. So now let me Control A and delete. And I'm back to just a one-page document with absolutely nothing in it. So let me show you how I would set up that report the correct way. So here we go. To keep this real simple, I'm gonna put in just CP for cover page, because I just don't like typing a cover page and you don't want to watch me type. So page 2 will need to be the table of contents page. I would go to layout again, breaks, and do another section break, next page. So now we're on section 2, page 2. And once again, just to keep up with it, TOC. Page 3 is going to be page 1 in my document, because that's really the first page that has something. So I'm going to do another section break. So this should be section break number 3. And it is, and it's on page 3. And just to get something on the screen, so there's just some random text. Doesn't matter how many pages. So I'm going to go back to page 3. So I'm on section 3, page 3. And just so you know, it's section 3 from here to the end of the document. I want this, though, to be page number 1, not page number 3. So to do that, it's up to you whether you put the page numbers in the header or the footer. For this webinar, I'm just going to stick them in the header because it's just easier to do. So I'm going to double click in the header. And if you notice, it says header section 3. And over to the right, it says same as previous. So what you have to do is turn off the link to the previous header. So that's the first step. So now it's off. So it no longer says same as previous over here. The next step is to go to page number, and you've got to tell Microsoft Word that you want to start on page number 1. And this is also where you could pick different page numbers if you want to, but I want the 1, 2, 3. Hit OK. And then you still have to put the page number in. So I'm going to go to page number, top of the page. And there's my 1. So my table of contents page, which is page 2, I'm going to scroll up to it, click in it, turn off the same as previous, link right here, page number, format. I'm going to use this ABC, page number, top of page, plain number 2. It's up to you which one you pick. And then go back to the cover page, and I don't want any numbers on it. So let's see if it actually worked. I'm going to close the header and footer. I'm going to go to the top of the document. I'm only worried about the headers because there's nothing in the footers. So there's my cover page. It looks good. There's my table of contents that had a section break, not a page break. Then I did another section break after TOC. There's page 1, 2. So it is working. That is how you get your page numbers to start on 1 if it happens to be page 3. So one more item about this. Another reason to do section breaks is I'm going to put in annual report. I'm on the cover page. I'm going to highlight it. You can center it left to right. I'm going to change it to 36. Here's what's cool. Because page 1 is its own section, if I want to center this left to right, that's easy. But if I want to center it up and down the page, don't do this. Enter, enter, don't do that. Go to layout. There's the word page setup, which I've been using. Click the dialog box launcher. It'll open up the old page setup dialog box. When I click on layout, vertical alignment, top, I'm going to center it, and notice it says this section. That's why section breaks are major. Click OK. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see that, but it's working. There you go. All right, let me stop this one and share another one with you. I'm back. Okay. I'm going to go to the chat box here, and I'm going to type in still okay, and if somebody would please answer. Not yet, not yet. Can you hear me? Yep, okay, good. I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to jump back to Microsoft Excel, show you some advanced features there. So let me go to share screen. I told you I would do if and statements, so let me pick up on that one. Let me zoom in so you can see this a little bit easier. That works. So I have a list of reps running down column A. I have their quarterly numbers, quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. I've got their totals, which is just an auto sum. And here's a simple if statement. If they did over 8,500, we're going to give them a commission. I'm going to make this easy. The commission is going to be $720. So equals if F8 greater than, if you recall, absolute reference is when we're going to keep something constant the whole way down, because I'm going to autofill it. So I'm going to press the F4 key. F4 made it absolute reference. comma, it says value if true. I believe I said $720, comma, value if false, 0. That is it. So it's equals if, whatever logical test you want to run, then the true value, then the false value. And I'll do this again. 720, autofill down, and there you go. It is working. Let's test it. If you notice, this person right here has 7,000. Let's change that number to 2501. Oops, I'm sorry. Change that number to 4,000. Now they have 9,000, and there's their bonus. Let me go back and put it something else. Just a little tip from me. I'm okay with the zeros most of the time, but in this example, I'd actually prefer to not show the zeros in case I want to figure out the average. The zeros will figure into the average on the commissions. So I'm going to double click in here, and instead of a 0, double quotes means blank. So now I could do an average without having to do a fancy average function. And one more time, if you don't want to give them 720, I want to give them whatever that value is times, I'm going to give them 7%, 0.07. So now the numbers should be, there you go. And there's my average down there, 884. Once again, it's not picking up any zeros. So there's a simple if statement. Now, let's get a little fancy with it. Once again, let me change this just a little bit. There we go. So this time, I'm still looking at the 8,500, and I gave them a 15% commission already. It's the same formula I just did on the previous worksheet. But also this time, I've decided if they did over 7,000 and they completed training, I want to give them a bonus. And the bonus, so it's up to you how you want to do this, but I'm going to put the 7,000 here. And so they're going to get the 7,000. If they go over 7,000, they'll get it. And if they completed the training has to be yes, is my point. So I'm in I8, and I'm going to do equals if, and then I'm going to add to it the and function. And you can have as many ands as you want to. And I'll usually go from left to right. So I'm going to start off meaning training's yes, but I'm going to start off over here. It really doesn't matter. So if that's greater than that, absolute reference, comma, now you're on your second and right now. The minute I do the comma, I'm on my second and. The second and is H8 equals, I'm looking for yes. I have to put it in quotes. I'm going to close the and. I could do more if I wanted to, but that's the only two conditions that I have. Notice you're back actually on your if statement, and your if logical test is the and statement. So it still works the same way. So now it's a comma. Value of true, I'm going to give them $500, comma, value of false. There's my blank. Close it. Enter, pull down. If you take a look, this person's 15,700, but they did not complete training. So if we change that to yes, they get the money. I'm going to put it back to no. And there's two more examples right there. So there's an if statement with an if and. Keep on going. You can also, one of my favorite Excel functions is if error. Here it is. Let me give you a little more zoom in here so you can see this. So I have a list of products. I just put product 1 through 13. And the normal formula here is just simply B5 divided by C5. no big deal. Crosshairs, pull that down. Those pound divided by zeros drive me crazy, and I know you've seen these before in your spreadsheets. So this function that I'm about to show you is how you get rid of when Microsoft Excel gives you an error message in your formula, because you can't divide by zero is the problem. So I'm going to highlight them, delete them, and do it again. Equals if error. It is still exactly the same way you started, B5 divided by C5, comma, but now the question is, what do you want me to display instead of the error message? Check unit price. Perfect. That is an if error statement for you right there. Keep on going. Back to, let me stop a share here. Let me show you how to do a VLOOKUP with a VLOOKUP on multiple tables. So this is going to be pretty cool. All right, here's the example here. We have, once again, a list of people out in the field. We have their years of service in column B. Column C has their revenue numbers they brought in for their clients. And then we got to give them a commission percentage. But here's what we're going to do. I'm making this up, obviously, but this will always work. We want the first year people, if you notice, if they do 3,000, they're only going to get a 2% commission. And we want to retain our employees. So after the first year, we bump up their commission percentage. So here's how this one's going to work. I'm going to go to cell D4, and I'm going to do equals VLOOKUP. And I'm trying to look up C4, comma. And the problem, though, is I've got two tables to pick from. So to get around it, let's use another if statement. So I'm trying to tie all this in together. If statement. And I'm going to say if B4 is less than 2, which means it's going to be 1 or 0. And if B4 is less than 2, comma, what do you want to do? I'm going to take this information right here, and I would absolute reference that one. And notice it says value of true, so that's the true value. Comma, what if it's false? It's going to be this information right here, absolute reference. Close that, comma, and if you notice, I'm actually back on the VLOOKUP, and I'm looking for the second column because it says column index number in bold, and it's not the letter H and it's not the letter K, it's the second column, comma, and I'm not looking for an exact match, so let's put in the word true. And if this is done correctly, I believe I should get 2%. I'm sorry, 3%. 4,000, year one, 4,000, 3%. Let's make it 3,000. It went to 2%. Let's change my number of years to 2, and I hope I get 3%. And if I'm 3 years, 4 years, it doesn't matter as long as it's not 1 year. And then you could autofill that down. So there's your formula again. That is a VLOOKUP based on multiple tables instead of one table. So that's pretty good. And I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to see if I can unmute you. And if you have any questions, let me know, because we decided to keep this one at 30 minutes. If you like this format, if you like us doing these, let me or Lauren know. Let's see if I can't. First of all, let me stop sharing. Okay, now I'm back. Sorry about that. Unmute all. Okay, I think I just unmuted everyone. Can anybody hear me all right? Maybe not. Maybe I didn't unmute everyone. Anyway, I'm going to be wrapping up. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you like this. We can keep doing them. You're the first group we tried this with. So I think the next time we try it, since it's just the Executive MBA group, I think what we'll do, instead of doing it as a webinar, I can run it as a meeting where you can all talk to each other. So have a good evening. Thank you.